To make the password generator in Scratch, we need to use arrays. In Scratch, they're called lists. Now, I've already made the list to save on time, but just to show you, you go into variables, and instead of making a variable, we'll make a list. So let's just call this new items. And so we've got that over here now. Over here, what we do is we simply add. So if we had and you just either enter or hit plus, and it tells you here how many items are in the array, and to delete you would take that out and you can see the length adjusts accordingly. So I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to add the adjectives one. So all I did was I hit the plus and put in these 7. So I've got adjectives, nouns, and numbers. So now all I want to do is to get the cat to say a random item from here, combined with a random item from here, combined with a random item from here. If we click on here, item 1 of adjectives is always going to say happy. If it was item 4 of adjectives, well then it's always going to be ghastly. So what I want in here is item random. Now I can hard code from 1 to 7 because I know how many items are in the array. And I can see now, it is now populating a random number out of each array. So now I'll repeat this process for the other 2 arrays. And so what I end up with here is that I can click on this one to test that the adjectives random array works. I can click on the noun one to see that that one works, and I can click on the numbers one to see that that works. So now if I concatenate them all together, so I would get a join block. I can see I've got 3 inputs, but only 2 here. So I'll put a third one on here, and I'll put 1, 2, 3. And now if I click on it, I see that I get the desired output of generating a random password, which is 1 item from each list. So now I just have to output this. If I go to the say block and click on green flag, so I can do a quick test. That looks like it's working. So to finish off my program, I'll go to variables, I'll uncheck my testing, full screen, and of course I could do background colors and titles to finish it off. So now let's look at building from the ground up in Python. So in Python, I'm going to have the 3 arrays. Exactly the same here. First array is called adjectives, second array is called nouns, third array is called numbers. So if I print the value of this array or list called adjectives, I will output every item in there. And if I wanted just the first item of adjectives, I'm going to get dark. Now, what happens here? Why didn't I get happy? So in text-based languages, we have a 0-based index. So in Scratch, we have 1 through to 7, but in Python and JavaScript, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I put in 0 and run it, I get happy. If I put in 6, I get shiny, and if I put in 7, I get a message to say I'm out of range. So I want to be somewhere between 0 and 6 when I create the random. So what I will do here is just a quick shortcut. I'm just going to hard code some numbers in just to see the output. So my expected output is 0, 1, 2 is dizzy, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, dizzy, monkey, 97. And that works fine. So now all we want to do is replace this fixed number with the random number between 0 and 6. So in Python, we need to import random. Now that we've import random, I can now do random.randint with a range of 0 to 6 and store that in a variable called adjectives random. So I'm going to just print out the value of this variable at this point in the program. So you can see I'm getting random numbers between 0 and 6. So if I put this into here, I'm going to end up with a random item out of adjectives and the two fixed one for the next two. So I'm going to get a random monkey 97. So dizzy monkey 97, blue monkey 97. So I'm sure you can see how this works. So now we'll do the same thing, the random library, and we're going to call in randint from 0 to 6, and we're going to store this one in a variable called nounsRand. And same thing, we can now put this value and replace the fixed one, and we can test our program at this point. So we're going to get a random item from here, a random item from here, and a fixed item of 97 on the last one, which is the 6th item. So shiny camel 97, blue piano 97, blue star 97. Okay, and finally, numbersRand is also using the random library to pick a number between 0 and 6. And so now we can use this to replace the fixed value in there. And let's run it and see. Now we are getting random numbers as expected. So just a few quick things we can do to dress up. We can print password generator, and we can just put some spaces above it to separate it from the rest of the Python code there. So that's our password generator in Python. Let's go to JavaScript. Very similar concept. First step is to write out the arrays. Now we need the var keyword to declare this variable, and we need to conclude it with a semicolon. Now that we've got 3 arrays, we can output the value of them. So if I said document.write adjectives, well, then I get the whole lot. If I wanted 0, well, then I will get happy. If I do 6, I will get shiny. So like we did before, to build up to our learning of how this works, we can concatenate our fixed values. Okay, so that's our hard-coded password generator that has got the 6th item out of this array, the second item, 0, 1, 2, item out of this array, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4th item out of this array. So now we want to generate a random number between 0 and 6, store that in a variable, and then put that variable now to replace that number. JavaScript, math.random. So I'm going to do adjective rand is the variable, and at the moment that's on the math.random library, and I'm going to document.write the value of this variable. And I'm going to comment out this one. So what I can see now is the value is between 0 and 1. So I want to multiply that by 6 to increase my range, and I want to round that down by putting the math.floor Now I'm getting output between 0 and 5. So I'm just going to change that to 7. Because in JavaScript we had that between 0 and 1, and we've rounded down with the floor method, so it's always going to round down to 6. So I've just got to put in one more number to get the desired output. So now that I have this variable, I can now replace the hard-coded number with that variable. So I'll get a variable answer out of here. I will get fixed items out of those two. So if I test the program, I'm getting something variable and then light 82. So same logic for the next two. So now that I've created variables that generate random numbers between 0 and 6, I can replace the hard-coded value there, and I can replace, well, I'll test that first before I do. So the first two items are random, the last item is still hard-coded, and now I can replace that last hard-coded item with a random number, and now we have the working password generator. So now for our output to look a little more professional, we put in a string of text with password generator, and we're concatenating two breakspace. If I didn't have these, what I would end up with is JavaScript not seeing the white space. So I need to go plus breakspace brings it down onto the next line, and a second breakspace puts one more line in between them. So that's our random password generator working in Scratch, Python, and JavaScript.